Hello, everyone. You're welcome to another edition of Beyond the Hustle. This is a platform where we tell the stories of African entrepreneurs and career professionals. Today, we'll be stepping into a world where African stories meet digital technology.
Yeah.
Yes. And in a world where a lot of people are losing touch with culture, the African culture, we have someone like Ozi Baba Anieto who is preserving the culture of storytelling through his platform, Ajambele.
Ajambele.
So
Yeah.
please, can you tell us more about yourself and also about this platform?
Okay. I thank you so much for the question. My name is Ozi Baba Anieto. I picked Ozi Baba as a suffragette. My mother, when I was small, when she wants to call me or what she wants to tell me, she say Ozi Baba. And when I got older, I decided to adopt it as my nickname.
Okay.
And ever since then, I've been using it in my writing and a whole lot of things. And something happened when I was young. As a boy, I grew up with my siblings. We had five in number. I'm the middle. Two elder and two younger. A girl and a guy was above me, and I was elder to two younger boys, men now. So, and then my parents, we lived in a very traditional family where television is a luxury. We don't even have the VHS. Then it was VHS, and we have this extended family kind of where cousins are living with you. Grandmother will always visit, go back. You go to the village, and whenever they came, the most or the alternative to entertaining us was telling folk tales. Alternative to the entertaining us was folk tales. And my father was so blessed in telling stories. He told us stories that are so scary, stories like the spirit people coming to marry a girl in the world, a girl that has been rejecting suitors. And my mother tells us stories like relaxing stories of people winning, of people getting things you want. And my grandmother wasn't a deep storyteller. There's sometimes we run into my uncle that will tell us different kind of stories. And growing up, I realized that all these people are sharing their form of maybe the circle they were in. My father grew up in Onitsha. My father grew up in a village, Omunachi, and then most of the time, actually, he later relocated to Onitsha. My mother grew up in Onitsha. And my uncle has been moving from a place to the other. So they picked the folk tales. And in those olden days, folk tales are the only means of educating the people.
Wow.
It was kind of a form of education. So coming to the digital era, I grew up having one big problem. The problem is that I grew up telling the folk tales. It was a part of me. It was really a part of me. And looking at it, we are five in number. Out of the five, I was the only one that retained those, the skills of telling stories because it's a different, unique kind of ancestry kind of skill. I was the only one that retained it, so passionate about that. And even when I was in school, sometimes they will stand me on top of the desk to tell my fellow students stories, folk tales. And but then growing up, you can't see a future in that. There wasn't anything to hold on to, and then the television, a lot of modernization coming in and sweeping off folk tales. But one thing with culture is that it doesn't die. With time, the digitalization started coming in, and I started with some of the stories my mother told me, some of the stories my father told me, and I saw that it has a very strong effect on people. When I told the story of Omuelo, when I told the story of Ojadele, when I told the story of Osa and Nkotede, that's Osa and Kokoyabis, it's still in Ajambele. So when I told those stories, I would see how gripping. How people would be like, we want more, we want more. So I was extended to the extent that I need to keep this particular audience. And to keep this particular audience, I've exhausted whatever my parents told me. You need to bring new words. But they've set a template. You know what it's like, what the folktales are like. It's more of you look at it from the oral conversational way of telling stories, not trying to be poetic or trying to use a lot of metaphor. In African folk tales, you see that people are just telling the story as if they are talking to the kids. They don't want to use cosmetics to make it look fine. It's just about the spirit came and it did this and it did that. And it has that strong effect. So with that, I made a business out of it because it's not just about telling the story, getting the audience to like the story, follow the story. At the point I wrote a book on folktales. In fact, before I even delved deep into Ajambele that you're seeing now, I wrote a book of folktales that was used in the whole of Anambra State by people in primary four. It was called Ojadele and Nwangwele. It was used in every primary school, primary four students, in every primary school. So yeah, so this is a kind of something you know that it is inborn in that person. But good enough when you are doing certain things, even if it's your interest, and you are not seeing the return to sustain it, and sometimes you run out of the energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and good enough, Mark is paying us now. So when you are growing, when you are getting the engagement, your bank account is smiling also.
Wow.
So
talking about engagement, I noticed that you had a rapid growth rate on Ajambele, and I was wondering how did it happen? I mean, how was it so easy for people to embrace it? Does it mean that there's a part of people that has been yearning to have a platform like that?
You shouldn't have answered my education, asking me. Because, two things happened. Number one is that algorithm became so fair to us. And from seeing that, I think the social media, the Facebook algorithm, I may be wrong, but I see that maybe they started seeing the morals in those stories. African stories are tailored in a way to come out and with a moral. It's about when you are doing a pattern, this is how it is going to end. And I believe that all this algorithm, they are robots. They read through, they know what will benefit people. So when they saw the kind of work we are putting out there, see that we are trying to build a better world. We are trying to push a story that will change the mindset, that will make people become better people, better citizens. Yeah, they started pushing us forward. And again, the second one is that we really put in great work into it. When we write, any story people read, they will see just 300, 400 words. They would know it takes me hours to write them. I will write the first one, look at it, I'll be like, there's no soul in this. I will rewrite, I will rewrite until at a point I will read, I will be like, whoa, I think I got it right here. So the algorithm pushing and the audience consuming and being excited with the quality of work. I think both of them work hand in hand.
Nice. When you say quality of work, actually, I can attest to that because I've been following and I see the consistency.
Thank you.
Yeah, in the output. So again, we're talking about engagement, right? You're having a lot of engagement on your platform. So who are your audience? Are they only people from Onisha? Or because I'm trying to understand who are your audience? Because you already said that here in Onisha, it was a thing then, like telling stories.
Yeah.
So, but who are your audience? I feel like your audience is beyond Onisha.
Okay, you have to go back to that page. Last Sunday, that's 2 days ago, we put up a text post and we said, "Where are you reading us from?" And we got over 15 different countries.
Wow.
Yes. And I am so excited that we have a lot of Africans coming in. In fact, when you look at my audience from the back end, Nigeria is just 60-something percent. We have almost 30-something percent Kenyans and Ghanaians are the second and the third. And we have South Sudan, we have Sierra Leone, we have Congo, we have from over 15 different countries. One thing I know about storytelling is that storytelling is universal. When you tell a story like one of the stories, and again, in fact, when I was looking from the audience, my back end, knowing my audience, I didn't mean you consistently follow. There was a particular time I told the story of Mumba, and it was a particular guy that worked so hard, and made a little mistake, and that ruined his life. That Mumba is a name from Kenya. In fact, sometimes when I want to create my characters, because I know that I'm not just talking to Nigerians alone, and they say, what's the common name in Liberia? So I'll just pick the common name in Liberia and say, what's the biggest city in Liberia? They will give me a biggest city in Liberia. Is there any province or district in this particular list? They will give it to me. I'm calling a story because I've known that my audience is not limited to Nigeria. I want people to just read something they will feel close to. And human story is so universal that no matter how you tell it, there are people that can only say, "Ooh, we feel this. We feel this." We've told a story about a rat. This is what happened in the Anambra State. We told it to a folklore where a rat was making a lot of money. People were celebrating the rat. Then the day the people came to attack, people they were stealing from came to attack the rat wasn't there. And a lot of people lost their lives. And at the end of the day, people that lost their lives couldn't talk because they were benefiting from the rat. So when you tell a story like this, a lot of people are like, we understand where you're going to. It's a story, it's universal. So stories are life, stories move, and it was able to reach out to millions of people outside Nigeria. It's not just an Igbo thing, it's not a Nigerian thing. And that's why when people are trying to tell me, yeah, now we've gotten a platform, let's tell Igbo story, I say no, I'm not going to tell Igbo story because we need to build a global platform. Most of the stories, like when I say Onwenu, when I talk about Ude, when I talk about Osa, these are Igbo elements in it. But we don't have to box ourselves. Let the world see the way we tell stories. You may be different, like we are telling the stories here. May not be how the Hausas or Yorubas are telling their stories. Now, why can't you globalize the Igbo story? But put it in such a way that other people will appreciate it. One day, when people will start studying and say, this particular pattern of writing, where is it from?
Okay.
The Igbo will come up.
Okay, so now you're giving me so much hope in African storytelling because I never saw it from this perspective. I never saw this direction. I never saw it coming.
Yeah.
I never knew there was going to be hope. In fact, if you had come to me earlier to tell me that this is all you wanted to do, I told you, look for something more trendy.
Yeah.
You get. But now you're giving us hope. You're showing us that there is future in this. So I just want you to talk to our audience who are also looking to do what you're doing. They're thinking about, oh, I want to go into storytelling, I want to go into creative writing. So how is there hope for them? Where do they need to start from? What are the things they need to start putting in place right now?
Okay, like I said earlier, I am redeemed. I'm saved by storytelling. I don't know what will have become of me if not writing. So it's very powerful. I made my first 1 million, like I said, and I will brag with it till I die from telling a story. And when I told that story, it was so raw. I wasn't using any assistance from any AI. And people, normally there are people that do not like when you make mistakes in your writing. And it was error filled. The people could see the story from that story and pardon my errors. Did this tell you anything? It's just about if you are a good storyteller, it's true you have to develop yourself. In fact, now you have a lot of tools that can fix out the grammar, correct it, make it shine, make it come out better. But if you're a storyteller, keep telling stories. Some years back, when I tell people I'm a storyteller, people normally ask, apart from telling stories, what else do you do? As if telling stories is not enough. But I believed in that. I believe that the storytelling, because when I see my peers, I will see that they're very talented. They have a lot of things going for them. They speak better than you and every other thing, but you know that you write better than them. So every storyteller out there, especially people that can put their stories in writing, know that this is a huge industry. In fact, looking at Ajambele now, the possibility is like from here to London. In fact, we put up an advert, and people are applying. We are looking for people that will do animation for us, and we are willing to pay 100,000 naira without seeing you. The only thing you do is create 2 videos for us every week. We do the correction. Once you're done with the videos, you send to us 2 videos every week, and you do that for 4 weeks, you get 100,000 naira. That's to tell you the huge potentials there, because we have seen it. We now have the audience, we have people engaging us. We know that the next thing we need to start dropping are the videos. And again, people are asking us, our kids love your story. How do we have the scripts? We are going to create the storybooks. We are going to create the storybooks, give it out to people who say it is free. And then when you get it free, we have to put our links maybe to our app. We're going to create app. We're going to create our YouTube. You see, ordinary storytelling is turning to be a big company. It is, when I look at Ajambele, I am not seeing a platform where I just tell African folktale. I'm seeing a fair where you have the animators, you have the people in the app side, you have people managing the social media, and a lot of things. So we are seeing it as that huge. So you, a storyteller out there, it must not just be African folktale or anything. It can be maybe telling your everyday story. Know that it is a very huge market. Writers have never had a opportunity like they have in this particular era. The digital space is changing everything. It's turning you into a work machine. Like I will tell you the fact. Normally, I have my time of my muse. Every writer sometimes will find the best time to write. I write best from 2 o'clock, and if
In the afternoon or
in the morning, yes, yes, I write from 2 o'clock till 5 o'clock. I'm writing, and after writing that, you will know that you're communicating, you are hitting the point. And most times in the daytime, I have to walk around trying to engage my audience, trying to reply to every conversation there. In fact, we had to employ someone to be doing that. Like now we are here. If you are commenting on Ajambele, the assistant is replying you, because we need to get them engaged. We need to communicate with them. And we are not seeing it as where we go to while we wait time. We're seeing it as a big company. We are seeing it as a very huge company that went across Nigeria. So looking at that, every storyteller, this is the only era in human history where storytellers are having the field, as in having their own time. The AI is there. People are looking at the AI. Saying AI is going to replace a lot of things. AI, beautiful. I use AI also, but AI doesn't have a soul. It takes you a storyteller to look at a story and say, I need this. And AI will start working around. Say, no, I need this. At the point you say, I ask me some questions. So that the AI will tap from that human part of you. And when you see that it's right to do, it is okay. So every storyteller should know that what they have, the skill they have, is something that can occupy, take their time for the 24 hours is not even enough. They should employ more people to ensure that the story gets to where it should be.
Okay, but when you started Ajambele, did you see it, did you envision it becoming so big as it is right now?
Yeah, when I started Ajambele, I was writing about African tradition. I started with my personal page writing about African tradition, and strangely, I was converted by Chimamanda Adichie. I read her book, The Popular Biscuits. When people read it, they only see the man and the daughter, the family, and every other thing. But when I read it, story tells, every story have different dimensions. I was looking at the grandfather, even praying for the son that didn't want him, and that opened my eyes towards traditional. I was like, most time maybe we are judging these people wrongly. So from there, I started telling stories about tradition, about culture. That's why what even bettered Obaji Festival that we do. So I started telling stories about tradition, about culture, and one thing with every storyteller, you don't own the story. Sometimes your mind just hits somewhere and you start writing, and you start writing and you start calling. In fact, sometimes when you are reading some of my works, I'm reading it also with you, because it's coming from somewhere deeper. You just have to activate a part of you that will just story tells themselves. I tell people stories will just start working, but it's about where your interest is. So whenever I write about that, I sometimes find myself trying to use some stories to talk about culture, fictions, getting up some stories to ensure that people will see the picture of what I want to tell. And from there, I started thinking about what if this was better from what if we start Igbo animation channel, kind of? And when you think about Igbo animation channel, to me, I think the only thing that would make sense is the folktale, the folklore, you know. So I started it some years back. But at the point, I stopped. I stopped because people were stealing our content. There wasn't any way to control it. But presently, people are still stealing our content. But we are not bothered. Because when you see where you are headed to, when you see yourself being something like the ego, whatever the sparrows are doing would concern you. You know where you are heading to. These people stealing are just picking the debris when you will fly off. That they won't split up with where you are heading to. They are picking the stories. Like you wake every morning and see that by 6:30 we are going to drop the story. Oh, they will be waiting for 6:30. I've announced it. They don't know the story. I have the story. So a day will come when we will start making the videos of that story. How do you steal it? If you steal it, if you steal a Sabinus video, you are pushing Sabinus. People are seeing Sabinus. So we are thinking bigger than that. When we start dropping our books, start dropping our app, are they going to steal it? So we take it bigger than that. Let every storyteller know that, like I've been saying, that it has an industry in its hands. And when we started, it was just born out of let's create something locally for people, the Igbo people, and then it metamorphosed to something bigger, something we can't even control as of now because trying to make it an Igbo thing is limiting its reach.
Okay. So I heard someone once said that if you're an influencer and people begin to copy you, don't blame them. You influence them.
Oh, makes sense.
You are an influencer.
Yeah.
So you are influencing. They are copying you because
Yeah,
you are
yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
without you, they won't have any ideas. They
That's
need
true.
to copy
Yeah.
you first.
Yeah.
So you are there. So, but have you ever faced what challenges? What other challenge? And again, I want to say that I'm hoping that there are some laws that protect creatives and creative work. I think we will have a session for that where we'll get a lawyer to.
Well, no, one thing is when in this particular era, there are a lot of things you can protect. A whole lot of things. From the angle that the world we live in presently, you are putting something out there. You always see the Facebook where people spend a lot of time, a lot of money to make videos. The Facebook rule is that maybe when you put your face when you modify it, it will become yours. You understand? When Sabinus drops any movie now, and I pick Sabinus movie, and I start saying, see what Sabinus did, you will enjoy it, I've modified it. Facebook will see that this thing as mine. That's why you can see a lot of people doing the Udemezue stuff and they will be in front of the internet. So there are ways of this. So if you're looking at trying to control or use the law to put how many people are able to, if you have a law in Nigeria, if someone in Sudan started stealing your whole religion, so in as much as it is beautiful for one to protect his intellectual property, creatives are criminals. Sorry, I'm using the words. Creatives can do a whole lot of things. They can take a story, restructure the story, give it a different face, and put it out there. Your story. So they are waiting to pick that and then do whatever they want to do with it and put it out there. So the only thing left for every creative out there is not to stop. There is a way people always spot the original. When they come to that particular place and they know that this is the source, they will stay. Every other place wouldn't matter. They'll be like, oh, this is where this is coming from. They will stay. And a lot of people want it. There's something called breaking news. A lot of them want it hot from the pot. So once they identify you, in fact, how we notice that people are stealing our works, our fans tagging us. This is Ajambele. You just go to where you tag, say, okay, yeah. People tagging you. So what you just have to do is, like in between, we always try to drop kind of, yeah, we thank you for tagging us. We know people are doing this, but it won't stop us. We are not doing that because we want to alert them. We want to exercise our authority that we are the source. We put it out there.
Amazing.
Yeah. So you still have to find a lawyer to protect your works, but don't stop. Don't let it deter you. If it start disturbing you, you won't get far. It may take time, but once people understand that this is the source, people can be watching Sapinus anywhere, Mr. Funny anywhere, Brain Shorter anywhere. Once people discover Brain Shorter, they will stay at that particular space. So think about what you do with your work to go just beyond that. If you are sharing on Facebook, people are selling on Facebook. Find a way to get some content that you can share on TikTok, and that group of people will be sharing on TikTok. Put on Twitter, put everywhere, everywhere. You find out that it's not just the same people stealing; they are just spreading your news. You know.
Yeah, so they're spreading your news.
Yes, they are your.
And it's a good thing that you have a loyal community that would even go to the extent of tagging you when
Yeah.
they see somebody stealing your work. So how have you been able to build and nurture such a loyal community?
Everything depends on how you communicate to people. We take our time. Like when I got someone to work with me, person is a student in one for his college of education. I told her that in between, go to people that are commenting, talk to them as if you're talking to a friend. Thank you so much. Go to their inbox even and say, thank you so much. We noticed that you've been doing this. We will keep on dropping this. And they'll be like, oh, thank you. They are connected.
They feel seen.
Yes. Like the time we asked, where are you reading us from? You are saying this. And you are going down there and saying, thank you. We are excited you're there. People want to be humans. People want to be people. We have our WhatsApp number there. People are bombarded our WhatsApp number. Say, can you be sending the stories directly to us? These are things we can do. We can always send them. We have a channel. Once you subscribe to the channel, every message, every story we drop will come to your DM. You communicate with them as if they are humans. And if anyone gets like a particular guy that came and said, we need more stories. We need more stories. There are a lot of things you can just tell the person. Say, can't you appreciate that we are dropping a story every day? But you go there and tell them that, yeah, presently we are developing, the time will come when we will keep on pumping you with stories. The person will be excited. The person will be excited. We won't just use fire for fire, horror for horror. No. You are creating a family. And the person that wants more story is what he wants. You must satisfy everyone. Find a way to. So when you are doing that, people feel your pulse. People know that here is not where to fight. People know that here is not where to do muscle. That this is a place like a family, and people start keying in, people start being a part of it. People can feel you from even reading the comments you dropped for someone else. And they'll be like, it's beautiful.
Yeah, awesome. So have you ever had a moment where you had this creative block where you wanted to write, but the words were not just coming up,
Yeah.
or the ideas were not just coming up? Have you ever experienced such, and how were you able to
It happens. It happens. Some days ago, I think 2, 3 days ago, and whenever it happens, you see the effects when you put it out there. I had this writing fatigue, and I wrote something. I know I couldn't connect to that. If you don't enjoy the story, no one will.
Wow.
I couldn't connect to that story, but I have hit a block. I've hit a block. And I had two options. Option A, either not to post. Option B, put it out there. Tomorrow is another day. The two options have their pros and cons. Don't put it out if you're not feeling it. Some people will hold that. Now, these are the traditional writers. Put it out there, no matter what, you get better. You still bring people are used to it. It's just like feeding people breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And all of a sudden, you have a rice that is not done. And you'll be like, no, I don't want to give them that food.
Yeah.
Sometimes people will forgive you if they know that you've been cooking good food for a long time. But there is still a downside of it. What if someone comes in for the first time and eat that one that is not good? So it's a yes, it's a dilemma. At the end of the day, what we did is we put it out there. Is a chance, and we took that particular chance. It happens. Sometimes you find yourself you're boxed. You don't know what to write, and that's when you look at a 7 day and you can write for 5, and you have 2 days of blog, you are doing perfectly good.
So focus on the wins and not on the challenges.
Yes.
Also. So you do storytelling. You're a full-time storyteller. Would you advise young people out there to also take up roles as full-time storytellers? Is it advisable?
Yeah, I said that earlier, and I'm repeating myself now. Storytelling. No storyteller in this world that dare to share the story with the world will never look for a job. You don't, as a storyteller, you don't have time. As a storyteller, every hour you don't have time. You're just thinking of how to expand, how to make it bigger, how to bring out your story, how to give life to your story. Why I'm saying this is that the digital world, when you see Mark every morning, Mark the multi-billionaire Twitter, they'll be asking you, what's on your mind? These are storytelling. They want you to pushing out something. Over 1 billion people always, it is only Facebook alone. Do you know what they're looking for? For something fresh. You saw us talking about the trends, the marriages, the people fighting in the plane, and a whole lot of things. These are storytelling. These are storytelling. Reacting on social and so minister and a military man did this. You are reacting on that. You're telling stories. You are coming with your own opinion. Another person is coming with his or her own opinion. These are storytelling. The world we live in. In fact, everything when I joined one NGO, and one global NGO, and I found out that everyone working there, when they want to introduce themselves, they say, I'm a storyteller. Then I started seeing the strength, the power of storytelling. You change the world with storytelling, you change narratives, you make people act a particular way with storytelling. In fact, everything is storytelling. Even science is storytelling. What we call science is about telling us that if you bring this and bring that, you turn into this. It's storytelling in its own way. So storytelling is everything is a big firm you have in your hand. If you're blessed with that particular skill, the only thing you start thinking about is how do you develop it? How do you take advantage of that?
Okay, so just to encourage upcoming content creators, how profitable is the Meta platform?
Storytelling, even I, you know why I,
The way you started,
yes,
depth of your heart.
yes, yes. Why I say that is, if someone like me, in fact, last 2 years, I wouldn't have minded taking a job that will pay me 100,000. But now, I'm looking for someone to pay 100,000 naira
Wow.
to do something the person can, even I myself can do. But I don't have the whole time. I want to concentrate on a particular side. You know, I'm looking for. In fact, I've at a point had a group of people I pay 70, 60. That's almost 200,000 naira monthly to get stories out there. You know, that's to tell you the depth. In fact, when we started training on Ajambele, why why we put a lot of weight there is to find another, develop another source of making money. Telling story of my wall alone with a very small community of 28,000, not up to 30,000. We make good money monthly. In fact, there was a particular when this is the American movie, that particular Tyler Perry's movie, what was that his name? Straw. Yeah, I wrote a review on Straw and I hit almost $100 in one story, a story that's not up to 300 words. Yeah, we hit almost $100 in say a week and it started trending.
Wow.
You know, Facebook pushed it. Yes, sometimes Facebook help. But I wake up every morning knowing that I must drop something. There is no money the sun will rise and fall and we will see $4 to $5. We're quite small and we are trying to expand. That's why we are now pushing Ajambele. Once Ajambele is stabilized and we are sure that we're having like $5, $6 from Ajambele, 5 from here, we push our YouTube. We want a situation whereby every month, we are looking at it 6 months, where we can have at least 1,000 or 1,500 or $1,500 every month. If we have that, we'll start expanding. Yeah.
So you heard him. Ozi Baba is a full-time storyteller and he's not broke. He's doing well. He's living out his passion. He's fulfilling purpose. He's impacting people's lives with morals through his Ajambele platform.
Yeah.
And he's making good money. So this is enough inspiration for you to go out there, start from where you are, and the sky is your stepping stone.
Exactly. And one good thing about storytelling in this era we are in fact, one of the reasons we are trying to push for the visual storytelling is for us to be able to distribute it One story, you can share one story on YouTube, share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it on TikTok, share it everywhere. And once you monetize, like we are monetized on YouTube, we are monetized on Facebook, we've earned on Twitter. Twitter is not consistent because we're not strong there. But we've earned on Twitter. If you have all this monetization, you will find yourself doing more. You know.
Let's give
Yeah.
it up for him. It's
Yeah.
very inspiring. These are the kind of people who want to be listening to every day. So you have no excuse for being idle as long as you have a smartphone and you can write. Start up, and you never can tell. You might just be working alongside.
No,
You're
I'll
open to collaboration.
I'll be a competitor.